Hi and welcome back to the FreeFormKnits YouTube channel. I'm Haxann Evers, a Knit and Crochet who's FreeFormKnits crafting led to the world of design. All the places you can find me will be listed down below this video. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to where I talk about all crafty things. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 crochet bat patterns that I've been wanting to make for a long time and finally got around to making all 3, and this is just essentially a little review of the patterns and recommendations for you to make because it's October, it's that spooky season, and these patterns are just really cute as decorations or as gifts. So let's just jump right in. So I do have my computer next to me to share the patterns with you, just so I get all the names right and everything, and 2 of the patterns are crochet and one of them is a knit pattern. So I'm going to start with the knitted one. The knitted bat pattern that I found was Cloudy the Bat by Esmeralda Peabody Jones, and all the patterns I'm going to be talking about in this video are free. I found them all through Ravelry, but I think Cloudy the Bat, this one, was a download, and the other 2 they're free on websites, so if you can't access Ravelry you can make those. I don't think this pattern, I don't know if it's on other sites, but it is a Ravelry download. And all the links I talk about, I'll link to the websites in the description box, and I'll link to the Ravelry listing page for this pattern. So Cloudy the Bat by Esmeralda Peabody Jones, and this is my little bat, and she has the pattern picture hanging upside down. I really like him. I usually, when I make toys, I usually go for crochet because it's just so quick, but something about the knitted texture of this bat, just the way it looked, just was really cute. And I'm looking at it now, I realized that she added little pink like lining for the ears, and I might have to do that, but he's just so cute, and he was really quick to make. For his eyes, I did sew on his eyes. I think she calls for that in her pattern too, in her sample that she sewed on the eyes. And I'm really bad with embroidering features on stuffed animals, on amigurumi toys, but I managed to kind of like do like a woven eye, and I'm not mad about it. So I used some scrap yarn. I think this is Yarn Bee low pill fiber. It's just some scrap I had in my stash, and it's just an acrylic yarn, and he's really cute. I did omit from the pattern, she called for like a crochet chain to do like little legs and then the hanging thing. I just omitted that and just like used my tail from the cast on, and just kind of secured it to make the hanging loop. The pattern was really good. It was really quick. It's all one piece. He's all one piece, his head and body. I think I might be wrong about this, but the way my row gauge and everything, the way it was knitting up, what she called the head was actually the body. Like, the head is supposed to be bigger than the body, but the way you knit it, you start at the head and knit the body, but she called them differently. Like, from when I was knitting it, this was supposed to be the head, but it's very clear from the pattern picture that the head is supposed to be bigger than the body. So that might be my row gauge, or maybe I counted wrong the rows. That's a possibility. But otherwise, it's a really good pattern. Very simple. You kind of do like these shawl shapes for the wings, and I sewed them together and stitched them down to his back. But yeah, he's really great. His ears were really fun to do. They were really quick. And I don't know, I just love that garter ridge. So this is my Cloudy the Bat, and I love him. The next pattern I'm going to be talking about is Spooky-Batty-Bat by CraftyBunnyBun.com, and it's like this very, he's a little square bat, and he's really nice looking. I really love him, and he was a lot of fun to crochet. And here is mine. I really love this. I was a little, not worried, but I thought it was funny before I did the features of the teeth and the nose. I thought this was funny. Before I did the features of the teeth and the nose, he kind of looked a little bit like a koala or a cat, but it wasn't until I added the wings that he started to resemble the pattern picture, and I did embroider the teeth a little bit. And yeah, he was really fun to do. He's not like, from the pattern picture, I thought maybe he was just like a circle, like if you crochet, you know, like you increase and then you do a little bit and then you decrease back down, but he's actually a square, and it was really fun to crochet him. Of the 3 patterns, I would say that he is the quickest, he's the simplest, and just really cute. I really love him. I crocheted him out of Knit Picks Brava Speckle in the, I believe it's called the Salt and Pepper colorway. I had some scraps left over in my stash, and just some safety eyes for the eyes, and yeah, he's really great. You have to do the ears separately, but there's very little stuffing involved with this, so it was really handy, because I think that's a big holdup for me with amigurumi toys. I have my stuffings somewhere separate. I can't always fit all the stuffing I'll need for the project in the project bag, but he just used a little bit, and you could stuff him with like yarn ends if you keep those around, so yeah, he's really great. His was a really well written pattern, very fast. I think pattern writing style, this was probably my favorite. However, I will say, I'm looking at the pattern on my screen right now and I'm remembering this. The way she writes the patterns, write the pattern very well, but it is a little bit different in that, like, usually in my experience with a crochet pattern, like a pattern will say, you know, 3 single crochets. She actually, you have to watch out, like she'll say, let me find an example, single crochet times 40, and she'll mean 40 single crochets all the way around, just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that was a little confusing for me, but just something to keep in mind, just to really look through and really read what she's saying. Her pattern writing style differs from others I've seen for what I think is common, but it is really clear, and she's got it row by row, and it's nice template. It's really nice, and I do like that. I love seeing that in an amigurumi toy pattern. Another thing I will say about this pattern, she doesn't use rounds, she uses rows, but she means rounds. Like she says rows, but it means rounds, and that was confusing for me for the ears, because I knew the body obviously was done in rounds, but even though she used rows, I didn't notice, I just assumed it was rounds. But for the ears, they're also done in rounds, but the pattern does say rows. So that's something to keep in mind, just little technical things like that, you just have to realize what the pattern's saying, but it's actually very self-explanatory. I probably made it sound way more complicated than it is, but this was probably my favorite. The last pattern I want to talk about is probably the most complicated, it's certainly the biggest bat, but it is the Mini Moon Bat, a God Amigurumi plushie by hookandstitchblogspot.com. And here is my bat. The biggest of the 3, the most complicated, not only because of the size, not really that complicated. He's very, very amigurumi plush. You know, if you've done amigurumi a little bit, then you know like how shaping works or what to expect. He's got some, I just used some sticky felt for his moon. Mine's not very well shaped because I was in a rush and didn't bother tracing it out really, but I like it. And I honestly, looking at the pattern picture, I thought like he has his tongue sticking out. He doesn't. It's supposed to be, like she says in the pattern, it's supposed to be like his belly. But honestly, from the picture, it looked like his tongue. I don't have the felt to make it. Oh, I could actually. I might change that. I might actually make it look like he's sticking his tongue out. That would be kind of funny. But I do just have this white square, not very neatly done. But I do love him. He is very nice. A nice, big, nice size plushie. I crocheted him out of I Love This Yarn in the black. And he was certainly the hardest to crochet just because of the dark color. But I love all these patterns. I keep saying that, but I do love him. This pattern, it was very well written. However, I think for the wings, I messed up. And they didn't turn out, they don't look like the pattern picture. Even though I followed the pattern, I was trying to be really careful and follow the pattern exactly and really try to understand what they were saying, but for the wings, just something didn't add up. Like I would have stitches at the end of rows and they don't look right. Like this part looks right, but the rest of it does not look right. Like looking at the pattern picture, I mean, it's fine. His wings are certainly winged shape, but they don't look exactly right. And I don't know if I think there's something off with the wing instructions. However, it's not terrible. It's certainly not to pattern, but I don't know, maybe I missed something. That's always my fear, that I miss something, because I do that when I read patterns. I mess things up. But I did get a wing-like shape, so I'm not mad about it. He is done, his head and his body are separate pieces, but his legs are attached, which I love with amigurumi toys. I love when the legs, if I have to crochet legs, I want them attached. I did one leg, I did the other leg, and then you join it at the body, and that's really great. I was surprised that I had to sew the head and the body together. I kind of thought that they would just go into each other, and they probably could have, but I just followed it to pattern and did the head separate, and then sewed it, and you can actually see my stuffing from my sewing, because I'm not good at sewing. The ears went well. The pattern was written really well for the ears and the head. I found for this pattern, the details were like the finer details, but the felt and like I didn't expect anything more really in regards to the felt, like other than, you know, cut the felt out and stick it on, or sew it on if you have the sew-on felt. But one thing I was surprised that it didn't include what rows to insert the eyes on. Usually I've found in a lot of amigurumi patterns will say insert, especially with safety eyes, if you're going to put safety eyes on, insert it between rows so and so. This pattern didn't have that. I kept looking for it, but it's not here where they put their eyes, which made me a little bit anxious, because if I'm going to mess something up on an amigurumi toy, it's going to be the finer details, the sewing of the features and the eyes. But I did manage it quite well, and they're kind of close to how the pattern picture looks. So overall, I'd say this one was, I guess, my least favorite in the style of written instructions. Overall, it was my least favorite, mostly because of my yarn choice. It's really hard to crochet dark yarn, especially when you're doing most of your crocheting at night in a dim lighting. I don't recommend it for the eyes. I do really love it. Just of the three, he's the hardest, and probably just with the finer details and my problems with the wings, the least favorite. However, the finished project is probably my favorite, because he's so nice, and he's certainly worth it. I mean, the wing eras, like I said, it could be me, but I'm pretty sure they're just something, because I would have the numbers not adding up, but I don't know. I do really love it though, and he's certainly, if you decide to make it, he's certainly worth it. He's adorable. Those are the 3 bat patterns that I made. Honestly, I think I picked out, like, I wanted to make, when did I want to make crochet bats? I think it was earlier this year, or maybe even as far as last year, that I found a bunch of knit and crochet bat patterns that I really wanted to make, and they were all on my, like, saved to the home screen of my laptop. And I finally just narrowed it down, because I couldn't make all of them, because there's so many other things I want to make. So I narrowed it down to these 3, and I'm really happy I got around to making them, and I highly recommend all these patterns. That's it for this video. If you have something you're planning on making for this Halloween season, whether it be a toy or maybe a Halloween themed sweater or anything like that, please comment it down below. I would love to hear all about it. Thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much, and happy crafting!